I built a podcast studio, and it didn't go as planned. Mistakes were made. Money and time were lost. To be honest, there's a lot that I would have done differently, and some things that I would love to have done, but that would have destroyed my budget. But before we get into it, let me back up. There are some things that you should know. 1, I had never been on a podcast, much less hosted one. 2, I didn't know anything about video podcast equipment. 3, I never edited a video, not even one. 4, while I can frame, do electrical, plumbing, sheetrock, paint, and trim, I'm not an expert at any of them. 5, I had no idea what I was doing when it came to building a video podcast studio. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I learned, the products that I used, and some things I wish I had known before I started. Oh, and before we get started, if you see the like button building anything, let him know he's doing it wrong, and then walk away, leaving him confused and trying to figure out what it is he did wrong. I'll leave links to everything I used in the description below. So here are 5 things I would have done differently. And the 5 main reasons I built a video podcast studio. So the number 1 thing I would have done differently is how I handled the spray foam insulation. I should have called and got multiple quotes, but I went with the first guy I found, and unfortunately he kept putting me off. By the time I gave up on him, a week had passed, and at this point, if I had tried to find someone else, that would have taken another week and may have set me back another month. Who knows when they would have been able to start. So I compromised. I gave up on the spray foam insulation altogether, just bought bad insulation and did it myself. Number 2, hanging the sheetrock myself. The spray foam insulation guy I was going to use was going to do the sheetrock also, and I think you know how that ended. Sheetrock's one of those things that it doesn't really pay to do yourself for the cost of having someone else do it and the speed that they can do it. What took me 3 or 4 days would have taken them a few hours. They would have just knocked it out. It probably would have turned out better, and I would have saved a lot of time. But at this point, I was just frustrated and wanted to get it done and didn't feel like dealing with anybody, so I just did it myself. Number 3. Now this is something I wish I would have known before I did my sheetrock. I found a video on YouTube after it was too late, of course. It's from Jeff Thornton, and he gives you 4 ways to absorb or cancel sound. If you don't know who he is, he makes great DIY videos here on YouTube. I'll leave a link to that video, but he uses something called green glue. I'll put a link in the description below to that. Essentially, you apply it between the 2 sheets of sheetrock, or you can apply it to existing sheetrock and just add another layer. Now, disclaimer, I did not use this product, but if I had known, this is the route I would have gone, especially after not being able to get the insulation. Number 4. Now this one was not in my budget, and I wish it were because it would have saved me a lot of work, and that's a mini split. If you don't know what a mini split, they're little air conditioners that you can use on small offices or tiny homes, different things like that. The problem I ran into is my AC for my shop is for a shop, so it's huge, and I plumbed this into my office. So I have to bleed a lot of the air into my shop, and I'm heating an air in the shop even when I'm not using it. But the size of the air conditioner and how much I've plumbed into the shop also causes the studio to get too much cold air. The mini split would have not only saved money, it would have been much quieter, it would have been cheaper in the long run. I may still end up going that route, I just haven't completely decided. Number 5, made it bigger. Yes, I would have made it bigger. This would have killed the budget, and of course I couldn't afford to do it. But if it works out and I can somehow make money doing podcasts and YouTube, I would love to build out the rest of my shop. I think this space is a little too small and can cause some sound problems with echo off the walls. So if you see a lot of the podcast studios, they're spread out, the walls are further away. It keeps your voice from bouncing back and forth and gets rid of some of that echo. A larger space would allow for different places to have guests and shoot podcasts. A desk, a couch area, a coffee area, just a little more diversity. I think it would be fun, and I may end up doing that at some point. For now, I think this will work. I just think it would be more advantageous to have a little bit larger space, maybe another 100 square feet, 200 square feet instead of 100. The 5 main reasons I built the podcast studio in the first place. 1. Giving back is vital to the human experience. That's what I want to do. I want to give back. There are so many great artists and creators and access to so much knowledge. You could not consume even 1% in a lifetime. You can't even get close. We as a human race have not even discovered 1% of what there is to know. And how could we? Many of us look at things like the existence of Jesus and the overwhelming evidence and dismiss the fact that he walked the earth. And even more people deny he was resurrected. Did I mention overwhelming evidence? Number 2, the fact is, we are becoming more ignorant as time goes by, not smarter and wiser. We accept fiction as fact and deny truth when we hear it or see it. Number 3, seeking many counselors. Going back to the human experience, being able to communicate effectively with other people and come to agreements and disagreements is vital to our existence here on Earth. And as much as we all think we know, we can always learn something from someone else. And if you're brave enough to leave your opinion in the comments, I'll read them. Number 4, creating a place where people can come and learn from others, find truth and wisdom. I think a community where people can come and seek advice from many counselors. It's important to have like-minded individuals that you can trust and rely on. 5, I want to share what I know and help everyone I can to live a better life. The only way to do this is to put it out there. I know I will not get everything right, but I'm willing to learn and seek truth. If you're willing to join me on this short trip we call life, I would love to get to know you.